Hey, yo. Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing another figure review. Been doing a lot of figure reviews this week, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And we are going to be doing the new Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Leonardo figure. Now, for those of you that are new to my channel, just started watching my videos, um, I'm a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. I read the comics that have been coming out. I read the old comics back in the day. I watched the TV shows and the movies. I grew up with the Turtles. I love the Turtles, and I've been loving the new Turtle comic that's been coming out. That takes the original creators and kind of giving like the best interpretation of the Turtles. And when I saw that a new show was coming out and they were doing new figures for them, I was excited. Not only am I interested in the show, but I'm interested in the figures themselves. What makes these figures stand out, really for a collector like me and a longtime fan of Turtles, is not only do they look good, but they look a lot like the comic book version. I mean, obviously, you can see in the corner, they're very much akin to the television show, which is a little bit more 3D and very cartoonish. Um, but is also very akin to the comic books. If you notice, the designs are very similar, down to the tapes on the wrists and the feet, and the gritty lookingness to them. Even the art style. The only difference is if you notice, these guys have knee pads and elbow pads, where these guys have straps. But it's great because as a collector, I can just kind of display it and say, these are my comic versions of the turtles. So I'm pretty stoked for these figures, and I had enough money to pick up only one of them. I went out to Toys R Us today for another reason. I actually went out to pick up some cards with my friends, and all they had was Krang there. But then when I went to Target today, I saw they had each and every single figure, but I only had enough money for one. I'm going to pick up my favorite turtle, which is Leonardo. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'll just give a quick bio of Leonardo while I show you the box itself, and then we'll jump right into the figure because that's what everyone's interested in, especially me. So Leonardo, and we're going to talk in a general sense, not necessarily to the cartoon, but to the comic, the cartoons in the present and past, and the movies and such, just in general with the characters, because there's been a lot of interpretation of the turtles. Leonardo is the oldest of the turtles, and he is the leader of the team. Stoic, honorable, disciplined, and wise. Leonardo is probably the best fighter of the team, and he has a great sense of duty when it comes down to the mission. When it comes down to fighting, Leonardo, like I said, is the most skilled. If Raphael is the strongest, and Michelangelo is the quickest, and Donatello is probably toughest, could take the most hits, Leonardo is the most skilled in both hand-to-hand combat and also in weaponry. Leonardo is skilled mostly with the dual katanas, although they're not called katanas, they're called Niten Ryu, which are, I think they are made-up weapons. At least in some of the continuities, they're made-up katanas. I don't know if that's actually a sword that's used. I'm a big sword buff, but I don't know every sword out there. So his main weapon of choice is dual katanas, and of course, hand-to-hand combat, which is one of the things Leonardo excels at in addition to sword combat. Like I said, Leonardo's a great leader, and he's definitely the wisest and the most dedicated out of the turtles. All of them get distracted by various different things, whether it's pizza or doing science stuff or just chilling around and riding motorcycles. Leonardo is the most committed to the cause. The only faults Leonardo has, and the only two faults are one is he bears a burden for everyone, and sometimes unnecessarily. He has an older brother syndrome, and he really needs to be the person that takes all the stress and all the pressure and all the burden from his brothers. His brothers are having a good time and laughing it up, and Leonardo's the one that's takes that burden. And he's often too hard on himself because of it, always thinking that he needs to be better than what he actually is. And the second thing is Leonardo sometimes has a hard time adapting to his brothers and their goofiness and how they can get distracted. Even Donatello, who is the most intellectual of the bunch, gets distracted by his little science fair projects. So that's a bit about Leonardo. If I do the rest of the turtle reviews, which I think I'm planning on doing, including April O'Neil, I kind of want to get April, but I'll give a bio of each of them. And I was supposed to be showing you the box, but here's the box, and you see the blister pack. It's actually really good. I like the background, very colorful, almost very 80-ish, which is what I like. We have green, blues, and purples. You see it on the side, the turtles themselves, and on the back you get a little bit bio of the turtles. Um, and their weapon of choice and what team they're on, and then you see the various other figures. The next figure I think I'm going to pick up is Donnie, and after that, just go from there. Probably Donnie, Mikey, and then Raph. That's the order of the turtles I like. Leonardo's my favorite, Donatello's my second, Michelangelo, and then Raph. But yeah, so far they have, what is it, 9 figures out? Yeah, 9 figures. So there they all are, the 4 turtles. April O'Neil, Shredder, the Foot Soldiers, Krang, and Splinter. So, with that said, got all your information you need. It's been 5 minutes. Let's actually jump into this figure itself. So we have this bad boy out of his packaging, and boy, does he look awesome. Take a look at this bad boy. So here is Leonardo in all of his awesome glory, his psychedelic cowabunga-ness, whatever kind of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle catchphrase you want to use. And he just looks really good. I'm really happy with this figure. Very few complaints. Let's just, first and foremost, the swords themselves fit very nicely in the hand, and they can come out. I mean, there's a little nub at the end that makes it a little bit, a little bit of a force needs to be put in. But here is the katana slash weapon themselves, and they can fit right into the back, like so. And the only complaint I have with this figure thus far is just the back is a little flimsy, and it's not really on one of those spinner knobs. At least it doesn't look like it. No, it's just on a little piece of plastic, so you have to be very careful. But yeah, you can take these swords out and put them right in the back. So for the sake of articulation posing right now, we'll do that. And Leonardo, he and I assume the other turtles has a very good amount of articulation. The arm can go up, it can bend at the elbow, it can turn at the wrist, it can move at the shoulder. He has leg articulation that goes out, and the shell part is flimsy enough that you can get it out quite a bit. Um, it can move back that way, but you have to turn it in an awkward position. And then it has a back knee joint there. So you can probably put them in some cool positions like kicking or punching or various other things. The head turns around, but it's on kind of a ball joint of a little bit different of a ball joint. So you just have to be careful with the turning. And that is basically articulation. There's no waist articulation, but he has a shell. I don't think he's gonna have waist articulation. So let's just take a look at this figure, and I think I'll hold him from the foot. Like I said, it looks like not only the cartoon that's coming out, but it looks like the turtles from the comic, which is something that I am very happy about. That's my hand, not the figure. Uh, Getting more shots of my hand than I am of the figure, but it really looks good. He has that nice grin to him. Really is a nice looking figure. In addition to that, which is a nice throwback to the old figures, the classic figures, which I still have the turtles, the classic turtle figures. I took them from my friend, who's not really my friend anymore, but I took it from him. He let me have them. But you get various ninja weapons from another katana, a slightly longer one, to some knives, to some throwing knives, to some shurikens. So you got some various different little goodies there that you can pose them in. And I'm going to just switch these swords around because I think I put the long sword where the short sword's supposed to go and the short sword where the long sword's supposed to go. That's what she said. And anyway, so yeah, that's Leonardo and all of his splendor and beauty. A great looking figure. I'm very happy I got him. He just stands out very nicely, and he will be a great figure to pose. Is that glue right there? Well, there's a little bit of glue. I don't know if you can see it on the inside of where the knot for the bandana is. Oh, you can see it. So, uh, minor little minor little thing there. But you know what I also like about this figure that makes it stand out? First of all, the texture, the figure feels, it's plastic, but it feels like rubber. And if you remember the old movie figures from like way back in the day, if you're that old, you remember they had a rubber feel to it. But what I really like is how his shell has battle damage on it. Um, Looks like he's been through quite a lot. So yes, that is Leonardo. One more thing before we end this is each figure, I assume Leonardo came with it, comes with this little thing that shows you all the other stuff that you can get, including the figures. And boy, look at that playset. That is freaking huge. I feel bad for the parents that have to buy that for their children. So yeah, that is Leonardo. Very good figure. If you like this review and you want me to do the other turtles, I probably will. But just let me know. And if you're planning on picking up the figures, let me know. I'm curious to know what your opinions on these new TMNT figures are. I really like them, and I'm looking forward to picking up the rest of them. So I'm going to end this video here. This is Andrew saying, peace out for now.